Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center for this Shabbat evening service, this Shabbat Tetzaveh, which is our Parsha, or as I like to call it, Fashion Week. We'll get more into what that means tomorrow. This is where we talk about the priest's clothes, so I make a little joke. And it's also Shabbat Zachor, which means there's only 4 more shopping weeks and cleaning weeks until Pesach. And then we get to stop praying for rain, which would be nice. We are also celebrating on this Shabbat our good friend Gogo Lids celebrating her status as Bat Mitzvah after some significant undertaking of learning and practice, and that means where we are right now, we have what to celebrate. So Gogo and friends will be participating in this service. And speaking of service, why don't we have one? So we're going to start in just a moment, as we do, welcoming Shabbat, but welcoming Shabbat with this idea that along with the advent of sunset, we are also welcoming in angels. And it's like these angels are here to escort us and come into our homes as honored guests and bless us, and then we see them on their way at the conclusion of Shabbat. And the song that we have for that is Shalom Aleichem, and it can be found on page 13. Page 13.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech,
this song in our hearts, we increase the light in our homes and in our holy space here. And we have some Shabbat candles that were lit a little while ago, but they haven't had a blessing said near them. So it would be my honor to invite up Gogo and her friend Josephine Zazweta to join us for the blessing of the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech v'tzmivota v'tzivanu lehaligner shel Shabbat.
I did that wrong.
Amen. Kol hakavod, well done. One of the ways we approach Shabbat from wherever we are in this week, and some weeks, we start lower than others. But to ascend to Shabbat, we climb by means of song, and songs are like rungs on a ladder. And we have psalms like the psalm that begins L'chun Ranana, which is on page 15. Page 15.
לכו נרננה לאדוני נריע לצור אישנו נקדמה פניו בתודה בזמירת נריע לו כי אל גדול אדוני מלך גדול על כל אלוהים אשר בידו בקרב ופטרי אשר בידו מנוס 40 שנה קוד בדור ואומר עמתו אל לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשמעתי מאפי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי
Page 16. 16.
ay 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 שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני מלכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום, ישועתו ספרו בגויים, כבודו וכל העמים, נפלאותיו כי גדול אדוני.
We move from the Psalms of David to the poetry of the Kabbalists of Sfat, who sang to Shabbat both like the day coming upon them was both a distant, impossibly distant dignitary like a queen, but also an intimate friend, like a beloved, like a bride. And either way, they welcomed Shabbat as it descended on the plains of Sfat by saying, Lacha Dodi, come, my beloved. And we can follow along on page 22, page 22.
Yada yada la, let's try that again. Yada yada la, da da. Yada yada la, da da. Yada yada la, da da. Yada yada la. Yada yada la, da da. Yada yada la, da da. Yada yada la, da da. Yada yada la. לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקרבי מה תשתוכחי ומה תלמי בך יחסו עניי ימי ונבנתה יראתי לה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו לי בשיסה שעושייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס חתן על כלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת מלאה גם בשמחה וצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite up Salvador Avina, who will be leading us responsively in a psalm for Shabbat on page 23. Page 23, that, like I said, is a responsive prayer, which means we will be taking turns, and Sal will be leading us.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai! Your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant to proclaim, Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Well done, Yashka. We're going to continue with a musical reflection on this same psalm. And Cantor Ruth, you want to tell us about that?
Yes, we've been learning new nigunim lately, and one of those nigunim applies to this psalm. So I'm going to ask you to please just join me in the nigun, and then the words for this particular melody will be up there when Martin puts it up there. In the meantime, just let's sing together. Lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Try that again with me. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. We're gonna try this again, one more time from the beginning. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Now we're going to try the second part also with lai, 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 so don't panic. And when we know the melody really well, we'll go into the words. Second part. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai. Try that again. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai. One more time, the second part. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. One more time. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Very nice. The words are lehagid baboker, baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. Let's focus on the words right now. Thank you, Martin. This is how it goes. Lehagid baboker, boker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. One more time. Lehagid baboker, boker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. טוב להודות. טוב להודות. לשמך העליון. One more time. להגיד בבוקר, בוקר חסדך, באמונתך, בעלי. One more time. להגיד בבוקר, בוקר חסדך, באמונתך, בעלי. טוב להודות. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. It is good to give thanks to God. It is good to do it in the morning and to do it at night. When we give thanks, we connect with being grateful, and being grateful makes us feel a little bit better. It's nurturing our soul. So if you're able, I'm going to ask you to please rise. And for those of you who are in this part of the sanctuary, face this way. And for those of you who are in this part of the sanctuary, you can face this way. And we're going to create a virtual fireplace right here. If you feel like you want to get a little closer, that's great. We're going to lehagid baboker. Actually, we're going to do it without the word, so it's easier. Yes. So try to focus on being grateful. This is what Shabbat is for. It's a reminder of how grateful can we be for the things we've been gifted. Let's join together. Yai lai da dai dai, ya lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai da dai dai. One more time. Yai lai da dai dai, ya lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai da dai dai, yai lai da dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai da dai dai, yai lai da dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai da dai dai. Try that again. Yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai da dai dai. One more time. Yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai la dai. Really loud and clear. Yai lai da dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai la dai dai. One more time. Yai lai da dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai. Now we're going to hold that gratitude as we hold the note right up there. Just follow me. You'll know what I mean. Feels so good. Yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai, yai lai da dai dai. Get ready. Yai da dai dai, yai lai da dai. One more time. Yai lai da dai, yai lai da dai. Take a deep breath. Yai lai da dai dai. Yai da lai dai.
Well, once again, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. If you're just joining us, welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. We're delighted to have you here on this Shabbat evening, on this Shabbat Zachor, where we remember that we should start cleaning for Passover. That's what Shabbat Zachor is all about. It's one of the three special parshiot we have before Pesach. It's Shabbat Tetzaveh, which I will say very few words about in just a moment. And as I said before, we are also celebrating one of our good friends, Gogo Lids here, celebrating her achievement in the significant learning that she's taken on to celebrate her status as bat mitzvah at an age where she is taller than most of our bat mitzvah. And I'll say for my own part, even though I've been here almost a little over 4 years, I reserve the right to do new things once in a while. So tonight I'm going to try to give a short sermon. I just want to touch on something that we find in the very beginning of the parsha. I know I mentioned that it was Fashion Week, and Gogo has some amazing Torah to share with you on that front tomorrow. I want to talk about the thing that we see before we see the cloak and the garment, the accoutrement of the priest, and that is the menorah, that is the light that the priests of old were instructed to build and prepare and to light and to keep lit throughout the holy service of the Mishkan and then the holy service of the temple, and a vestige of which remains in our space here with that light right there. Although that particular light is quoting Breshit, I think it says, Vayhi Or, let there be light. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because of what tonight represents in Gogo's life, but also as a microcosm of what it represents in so many of our lives, of which tonight is a single moment to be present for. Chazal, our sages of blessed memory, saw the menorah, saw the lampstand that was placed in our sanctuary as a counterpoint to the Mizbeach, to the altar. And so these two particular pieces of furniture, if I could call them that, were always kind of two pillars, two poles, if you will. The tension in between which we were to live our Jewish lives throughout all time. Because in the minds of our sages, the Mizbeach, the altar, represented what they called Torah Shebiktav, the written Torah, right? The rules, right? The way we were going to do things as instructed in that moment of time to those people who were present when they just lost everything that they knew, even as they were gaining freedom that they didn't know and needed a way to live. So right away they got Hoyle's Rules of Card Games. They got a guide, how to get through your day in this moment of trauma, going through the wilderness. Good trouble, but trouble. And so the rules, the Torah Shebiktav, that was represented by the altar. This is something that we do. The menorah, on the other hand, represented Torah Sheval Peh, or the oral Torah, it's sometimes called. This was the idea that while Moses was writing down all those rules, just the simply how to get through your day, connecting to God, connecting to one another, it was a very concise book because he didn't have that much time. He only had 40 days and 40 nights to get the whole thing down. So God says, I'm giving you the cliff notes, but I tell you what, I will tell you what I mean, right? I will give you the kind of secret menu, the guide behind the guide, and then you tell that to Joshua, and Joshua can tell that to the elders, and the elders can tell it to the prophets to the Anshe Knesset HaGadol, and that knowledge will be transmitted throughout all time, but I'm going to give you that separately so that this book is still a book that can be carried around. It just so happens when you start an oral tradition about a book, you are making sure that that book lives forever and endures in people's hearts, but also endures in people's practice. When you have the Mizbeach, when you have the altar and the light, when you have the written word, when you have the transmission from teacher to student, you have something that is not only durable, but flexible, resilient for all time. This was the genius, the unique genius, I'll say, of Jewish revelation. Many people get a book. Many people get a vision or a prophecy, and we hope that that will sustain us. We hope that that will sustain our children. We hope that that will sustain our children's 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 children. But we got the permission to continue talking about it, continue commenting on it, continue arguing about it, so that that teaching would be flexible and durable. That is the menorah. The commandment wasn't to light a lamp once. The commandment was to keep the lamp lit. And that's why it's not just what we transmit, but the transmission protocol that is crucial to who we are. And we do that in a variety of ways. The Shema tells us, right off the bat, teach this to your children. And I like to say in this community, we are crushing that. We have a really wonderful religious school. But not just our children. We have adults who come back or come for the first time at a later age because they thirst for the learning that we have. And thank God we have a way that we still transmit it from generation to generation, but also from adult to adult, so that this tradition, this legacy of compassion and justice can endure no matter who is coming to it and no matter how old they are coming to it. Thank God for me, or else I never would have found it myself. So I'm very grateful that we have built a place that not only teaches Torah from one generation to another, passing it from a senior to a junior, as it were. I met Rabbi Vorspan's son this morning, Rabbi Vorspan. So, this mode of generation to generation. Not just from an adult to a child, not just from a teacher to a student, but from peer to peer, from adult to adult, from friend to friend. It endures vertically, it endures horizontally. And it fills our life with a light that never goes out. And the last thing that I want to say is more a request, because I don't want to let this moment pass. Because I notice that there are a lot of people here, a lot of different people here. You're not all necessarily, some of you are related to each other, but most of you are not related to everybody here. I think that's a safe assumption. It's not that small a town. Each of you is here tonight for a different, a different reason. But I think maybe better, each of you is here tonight because of a different person. Right? Sometimes we come to Shul because it's time to come to Shul. It's Friday night. That's what I do with my loved ones. I go to Shul because this is a thing that we do. Right? I'm part of a group that comes to Shul. Sometimes we come to Shul, maybe not every Friday. But this Friday is special, or this week is special, because I'm thinking about somebody special, because thinking about them is all I have left. Maybe there's a person whose memory brings you here. But even before that, there was probably a person in your life who said, in the future, when you need to go bless someone's memory, we have a place you can go for that. a person who inspired you long ago that made you think this was an important thing to do. This was an important place to be. This is important people to be with. And so as we close a brief talk, well, it's supposed to be brief, about lighting a light, I want to ask you to remember for a second. And sometimes closing one's eyes helps one to remember, and taking a deep breath helps one to remember. I want you to remember the person who lit your lamp. Maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a parent, maybe it was a friend. The person who first showed you that this was a good thing to do. This was a good place to be. These are good people to be with. Whether that was an hour ago or a lifetime ago, who was the person who lit your lamp to be here tonight? Just take that in. Because that person has helped you be the one to light the lamp next. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us at PJTC. In a moment, we are going to continue with the Ma'ariv service, starting with our call to blessing the Baruch Hu, and our friend Gogo will be leading us on page 28. Page 28, it is our custom to rise in all the ways you are able.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMavorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai Savot Shamo, El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimlok Aleinu, Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Hamariv Aravim.
Amen. You may be seated.
Great.
We will continue with a blessing for the constancy of God's love, Ahavat Olam, on page 29. Page 29.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
You in the middle of page 30. We'll all get back together in just a little while. We continue together at the top of page 31. Page 31.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת להם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לתורתם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בתיל תכלת, והיה להם לציצית וראותם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ופסיתם אותם, ולא תתרו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריכם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי ועשיתם אותם, ולא תתרו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אלוהים אחריכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Joined together in the middle of the page. Mi kamocha elim Adonai, mi kamocha melech hakodesh, nora tehilot osefet, nora tehilot osefet, mi kamocha בוקר היום לפני משה ומרים, זה לי, אדוני, Adonai Yimloch, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam Va'ed. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
גל ישראל.
Amen. I'd now like to call up Gogo's friend Josephine, who will be leading us in a reading of the Hashkivenu on page 33. Page 33. Josephine and company.
So all of it? Okay. Okay, thank you. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wing, O God, who watches over us and deliver us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard us our coming and going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Amen. Yeshua, well done.
פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים.
Amen. We continue on page 34. Page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. אוי אוי ויבני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
And Gogo will lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish in the middle of page 34.
Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yama divra kirute, v'yamlich malchute, b'hayechon uv'yomechon, uv'hayedechot bet Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv, v'maru. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mavorak, Le'alam U'almei Almaya, Yitbarak, Yitbarak, Yishtabak, Vitpa'ar, Vitromam, Vitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei de Kudesha, Le'ela min kol birhata, Vashirata, Tushbechata v'ne'emata, Damiran b'alma v'maru.
Amen. We rise in all the ways you're able for the Amidah for Shabbat evening. On page 35b, this is a silent or private prayer, so you're invited to go at your own pace and even pray in your own words. And when you're finished with your personal prayer, you may be seated. We'll all get back together in just a little while. conclude the Amidah with the Kaddish Shalem on page 48. Page 48. Amen.
Bialma divra kirute, biamlich malchute, bahayachon uvyomahon uvhaye, dehol beit Yisrael, bagala uvizman kariv veimaru. Yehi shmei rabba mavorak, le'alam ul'almei almaya yitbarak. Yitbarak vishtabak vitpar vitramam vitnase vitadar vitale vitalal shemeda kudasha brihu le'ela min kol birhata vashirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran bialma v'imaru titkabal zlotchon uva utchon dechol Yisrael Kodam avuchon divishmaya vimeru. Yahesh amaraba min shamaya v'hayim aleinu be'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imeru.
As we begin to end our service with Elena on page 51, I'd like to invite up Salvador Avina once again to help us out by opening the ark.
I'll open it with you.
Everyone else, we're going to please rise and get together on page 51. Page 51.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל עבודם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר עצמו קדוש. על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהים ירוד מרב ותפארת עוזך. כי המלכות שלך היא, ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב את תורתך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד, ונאמר, ראי אדוני, למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה
Please remain standing as the ark is being closed. The ark is closed. You may be seated. So before we, let's see. Yeah, go ahead and sit down. Before we continue to conclude our service, we always pause at this time to remember with honor those who are no longer with us. This week at PJTC, we're marking the Yahrzeit of Rosa Alajim, Paul Arno, Sophie Axler, Anna Baker, Beatrice Berg, Shanna Blackett-Vogel, Samuel Breaker, Stephen Browdy, Virginia Burr, Frida Schemmel, Sam Cohen, Louis Eckstein, Rose Elbaum, David Epstein, Celia Fingerhut, Rabbi Maurice Galpert, Rose Golbin, Lloyd Gold, Edith Brager Goodstein, Elsie Sussman Green, Sophie Greenspan, Binya Chaka Grumman, Joseph Handlin, Henry Heller, Lena Hess, William Engel, Rose Jackson, Louis Jacobs, Marshall Jaffe, Harold Kaplan, Erno Karenyi, Leonard Klamer, Miklos Kohn, Samuel Kramer, Lillian Kussner, Solomon Lonsman, Arthur Lane, Ruth Larner, Jules Larner, Rosalind LeBeau, Max Nell, Jean Mallett, Saul Manis, Max Miller, Naum Minkowski, Todd Norton, Esther Osorowski, Walter Pemstein, Albert Reichenbach, Mark Rosenthal, Ann Rosenthal, Julius Raphael Samuels, Max Scharf, Gideon Schein, Deborah Schramm, Sanford Sigeloff, Milton Singer, A. Edward Spitz, Max Schlachter, Julius Strauss, Boris Tansky, Charles Weinstein, Moses Weisfeld, and Musa Yunesi. We also send our condolences to the family of Paulette Pistol, and Paulette's daughter Kayla and her husband David and their children were members of this synagogue and have always been a part of our family. And Paulette was laid to rest today at Eden Memorial Park in Mission Hills. Hamakom Yenechem. May their family find comfort at this time. If you are in mourning for anyone or marking a yard site, I invite you to please rise so we can see you and pray with you. And we will all join together in the Kaddish Tome on. If there's another name that we didn't have on the list, just hold the name in your heart or say it out loud wherever you are. And I invite you to join us in the Kaddish Tome on Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei Dekudsha, Brihu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. You may be seated. At this time, it's our custom to make a few presentations to the bat mitzvah that we are celebrating. Normally, we would start with a presentation by our USY youth group, but Gogo, I'm afraid you're overqualified. So maybe the 20s and 30s group can get something together at another time. But it is my great honor to call up at this time Nancy Carlton, who is the president of our sisterhood, to make a presentation on behalf of our sisterhood.
I feel like I should be up on a little, like, or something. Oh, thank you. I really do feel like I need that.
You should have worn stilts like that.
I know. Go. On behalf of PJTC Sisterhood, I extend Mazel Tov on your accomplishments. I'm always impressed by those adults like you who decide now is the right time. Now it is important to take time to study, to become a B'nai Mitzvah. I know that carving out that time from your other responsibilities and ongoing commitments cannot be easy. I trust that as you studied Torah, you found a deeper meaning to Judaism and a better understanding of its traditions and beliefs. I can only imagine how fulfilling an experience this has been. As you drink from this Kiddush cup, let it serve as a small remembrance of this special occasion. May the Torah bless you, guide you, and inspire you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We'll cherish this.
Thank you, Nancy. And now it's my honor to call up Eric Schlecht, who has a few words to say in a presentation on behalf of our men's club.
That way I can look at you. Hi, Gogo. I was thinking that it seems like it was a long time ago that we met, and yet not so long ago. It was only less than 24 months, like less than 2 years ago. But I don't know if you remember, it was when we were first coming out of we thought we were coming out of the pandemic, and I was assigned to be the vaccine police, and I had to ask everybody, what's your name? Are you on the list? And you said your name was Gogo. And you showed my card. You showed the card, right? And it's like normal. I'm not good for remembering names, but Gogo, I remembered. So, and it's coming into a new community. You jumped in with both feet, and so that it is such a short period of time that you learned all of this wisdom, all of the Torah, to become bat mitzvah. And so I just have to say that it's different when you're 13. You've got your classmates to push you on.
You guys wouldn't want me here when I was 13.
Well, I don't know about that. But, well, then you would have your parent, like when your Hebrew is lagging a little bit, your parents could give you a little push or a bigger push, and you did it all on your own. So, well, you had some. Oh, well. You're doing great. You're doing great. As we say, kol hakavod lach, all the honor to you. So to the yad. So men's club, we give out, it's our tradition to give out the yad, like it's sisterhood's tradition to give out the Kiddush cup. And the reason is, and usually I don't lay this on the 13-year-olds, but men's club, we believe that Yiddishkeit that you've learned, the Torah, the wisdom, the knowledge that you've learned, and that you'll continue to learn, you carry it forward, as the rabbi said, generation to generation. It's a Jewish thing. I know you know that, but and so that that you can carry it in your generation once those of my generation are no longer carrying. So the yad is a kind of a token of that you can use to read the Torah tomorrow, point your way through the verses, and then you keep it. And after the sun sets tomorrow, I hope it'll call out to you to say, come read the Torah again. Call Sandra, sign up. But anyway, here you go. And Mazel Tov, Shabbat Shalom, and Yasher Koach, and you're doing great.
Thank you.
So.
Shabbat shalom. I've always wanted one of these. Make sure to pass it on to the Android to take out after we die. Generation, right?
Well, with that, we are going to conclude our service the way we began it, and that's with a beautiful, beautiful song. So I invite you all to rise and sing with us, and then make sure you stick around and for Kiddush, would you please?
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם שלום. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם שלום. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם שלום. סלאם
Shabbos, everybody. We will see you in the back for making Kiddush, and then please stick around for Oneg. And once again, thank you for celebrating Shabbat with us, and thank you to Gogo and her family and friends for sharing this wonderful, wonderful Simcha with us. We'll see you back there. Good to see you, buddy. How are you, friend?
Let's grab a Kiddush cup. We're going to have Gogo. Where's Gogo? There she is. So let's gather up. Come on, get closer, get closer. We'll try to behave, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Rabbi, there's another Kiddush cup for you.
Okay. Oh, there's another one?
Yes,
Well, I'm gonna double up. I just want to say real quick, I think
your mic
tonight-
is off.
Okay, my mic is on now. So, just because this has happened to me before, I believe that the wine this evening, not the juice, but the wine this evening is actual wine. I think it's a Cabernet Sauvignon,
Oh,
which many
Yes,
people
you're right.
prefer to Manischewitz or one of the sweeter wines. However, if you're expecting a sweeter wine and you get Cabernet Sauvignon, it can be quite a surprise. So that's why I'm mentioning it now, and I predict that when you drink it, it will still be a surprise. So, but let's sanctify this holy day, shall we?
Take 2 cups if you want.
you ready? ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ, וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Together. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים. וואו.
All right, those of you at home who wish to wash, wash as you wish, or anyone here can as well. We got a couple of washers going. But I'll make sure I wash on behalf of everybody who doesn't wash. So, I got you.
Yes, help yourself.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. Okay, we have gluten-free and we have non-gluten-free challah. Cool. Look at it.
Wheat, gluten-free.
Sweet.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Okay. We ready? Come on. Whoa.
My hands are so wet.
Just hold it anyway.
But you just touched the gluten-free to the non-gluten-free, and I can't eat it anymore.
Oh, well, we can do the top part.
All right. All right.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Okay, I'm going to cut for Gogo.
Okay, thanks.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I won't be able to come Saturday if I eat something with gluten.
There you go. All yours.
Thank you.
No one touches that. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning.